The iPhone 4 represented a huge shift in design for smartphones at the time of its release, and it continues to be influential even today.
Hi, welcome to the TC. My name's David, and today we're going to be taking a look at the iPhone 4 in 2021.
The release of the iPhone 4 was controversial even before it was officially released to the public. You may remember the prototype iPhone 4 that was found and sold to Gizmodo before the iPhone 4's official launch. People were already super excited about the iPhone's new design, and this prototype would further solidify people's expectations for the phone. Even from the prototype, the design of the iPhone 4 was stunning for the time. It featured a flat stainless steel sides with a glass front and back. For the first time, there was also a flash module on the back and a front-facing camera. The buttons were all fleshed out in metal, giving the whole device a very premium look and feel, even compared to the previous iPhone 3GS before it. Although it shared the same size screen, it had a major upgrade to the Retina display. The display on the 3GS and iPhones before it were not that great, 3.5 inches diagonal with a resolution of 480 by 320, making it about 163 pixels per inch. In comparison, the iPhone 4 with the same size display would pack a resolution of 326 pixels per inch, making it double what the iPhone 3GS offered. This meant that the iPhone 4 had one of the best displays in the market, with pixels that only became visible once you were nearly an inch away from the display. Even today, the iPhone 4's display is crystal clear, and honestly stunning when you consider it's more than 11 years old at this point. In 2010, although smartphones had much larger displays, the resolution of the iPhone 4 made it stand out from the crowd. Mix this with the premium build, and it felt like a luxury item. Even taking a look at this device today, it doesn't feel nearly as old as it is. The design being reused with the iPhone 12 and 13 series makes the iPhone 4 feel modern and relevant even today. I mean, look at these two together. Both have flat stainless steel sides and glass front and backs. You can definitely see the inspiration that Apple took from the iPhone 4 in the current iPhone's designs. The influences don't end there, however, as the iPhone 4 was also the first iPhone to feature a laminated display, major camera improvements, and for the first time, an Apple-designed processor. These are improvements that we would see year over year for each iPhone, and the iPhone 4 would be a pioneer in dictating the changes that is seen each year. Speaking of that processor, the Apple A4 chip would be first introduced with the first generation iPad before being placed into the iPhone. The iPhone featured the underclocked version at 800 MHz, while the iPad would be clocked at 1 GHz. However, the iPhone 4 would also have double the RAM of the original iPad at 512 MB, allowing for it to receive up to iOS 7 as its last operating system. Oh, iOS 7. Arguably one of the most controversial updates to iOS ever, shifting completely away from the skeuomorphism of previous iOS, and instead showcasing a flat design. The opinions of iOS 7 were mixed. Some people hated it, while others loved it. Personally, I thought that it looked pretty cool when it came out. However, it was a very slow OS. The animations in iOS 7 made everything look and feel way slower than they actually should have been, and I think that's something that angered a lot of people. Not to mention the amount of people who were actually getting motion sickness from the animations. However, iOS 7 would mark the biggest change in the design of the OS, and I don't think that Apple has actually made a bigger change in their design language since, except maybe iPadOS, but even then, it's basically a reskinned iOS. Taking a look at the cameras on the iPhone 4, the cameras were honestly a standpoint feature as well. The front camera allowed for FaceTime on the phone for the first time, and the FaceTime feature was actually introduced with the iPhone 4. Although it was a pretty trashy quality front camera, it was the first one on an iPhone, and the ability for video chatting was pretty awesome at the time. It had a 0.3 megapixel sensor that allowed for VGA quality videos. In comparison, the rear camera was bumped up to 5 megapixels with a f2.8 lens, allowing for 720p HD video for the first time. There was also an LED flash for the first time, which allowed for way better photos in darker conditions compared to the iPhone 3GS. The iPhone 4 also featured a second microphone for the first time, one at the bottom and one at the top for noise cancelling. Here is the rear-facing camera of the iPhone 4. This should be 720p HD at 30 frames per second, so let me know what you think. This is HD recording on the iPhone for the first time. For the first time, the iPhone 4 also featured a gyroscope. allowing for 6-way axis sensing of direction and speed of the device. This would be something added to future generations and allowed for playing games in many different ways, and of course the most important being the level up. Nice. The iPhone 4 wasn't without its problems, however, the most famous being the issues with the antennas. The stainless steel band contained the antennas, causing signal issues if you held the phone where the sides are being blocked. Apple's response? You're holding it wrong. Yeah, I think you can see how well this went down with customers. There was also less known issues such as the yellowing of the display from issues with the lamination process, and issues with the camera showing green blotches in low light. However, these issues were definitely not as prominent as the antenna issues and are generally forgotten. Just looking at the iPhone 4 today, it feels like a revolution from all the devices from the time, and I can honestly see why so many people wanted this design to come back. It has a nice heft to it, feels great in the hand, it looks modern, and with iOS 7, honestly, it doesn't feel that old except for its performance and the small screen size obviously. I think just looking back at the iPhone 4 has made me appreciate the design of the newer iPhones, such as my iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now I wonder if they'll ever bring back the design of the iPhone 5 and 5S with a modern display.
So that's going to be it for today's video. If you ever owned an iPhone 4, let me know how you liked it. Also, if you liked the video, feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe to see more content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.